So I'll start with just this changes to the New South Wales health orders. So from the 22nd of April, household contacts are no longer required to self-isolate without symptoms as long as they're not visiting an aged care, hospital or correctional facility, as long as they are wearing a face mask indoors when not at home. They undertake daily rapid antigen testing. It's a question as to how or who would police anything like that, and that they notify their employer that they are a close contact and they are not required to isolate. So I think that this was partially in response to the old set of rules being quite problematic in terms of, I think it was in early January this year, literally it was over 1 million people in New South Wales were isolating, either because they had COVID themselves or because they were a close contact of someone who had it. And as you can appreciate, in a population of approximately 8 million, having 1 million people not coming to work or being required to isolate was obviously very problematic for the economy. What they did as some initial relief for that was provided certain industries with you don't have to isolate if you belong to these particular industries. But then you also then had, other industries still struggling, not being able to staff, having shortages in various different areas. So now it seems like that's just been relaxed entirely. So that's certainly a recent and important change. And the other change on the 22nd of April is that ultimately the state vaccination mandates are now only applicable to aged care and disability care, and all of the other industry requirements have effectively been repealed or discontinued. This seems to be, we did actually provide an update on social media on this about a month ago. The New Zealand High Court made a ruling in relation to defence. It was in relation to defence and police, and it was an interesting case because what Justice Cook looked at in that particular case is they looked at medical evidence in the case and they looked at the nature of the mandates, and what the Justice Cook essentially determined was that people had the right to work, and that the health orders at that particular time, which I think were similarly government related, were not justified in that the threat in particular of Omicron pretty much impacted everyone. So they didn't see that the requirement to have vaccination in defence and in police was justified, given that it put a number of people out of work. So that was sort of the start of it. Then we saw South Australia about a month ago pretty much repeal theirs for a few industries, teaching and I think it was a couple of other industries that they looked at as well. New South Wales has followed suit now, and I would expect that in the rest of the year, we'll probably see states one by one roll those various things back. Probably one of the big pressure points on this is that, and I've said this a few times, is that every industry that there's been a mandate, there's been a shortage. So that's been a real challenge in all of this. And I guess you look at teaching, you look at aged care, you look at childcare, you look at disability care, and all of those. Those are all the industries at the moment that are really struggling with staff shortages. And there's obviously bigger issues in those industries as well. But what there has been is a bit of a talent flight. So there's been people who have left those industries for mandate reasons and gone to other industries. And we'll have a look at that a little bit further in a moment. And the one thing that has been certainly for sure in the last 2 years of disruption in our normal lives is that COVID has certainly been a big driver of change, but it's also been a driver of change in terms of employees' expectations of work and their working environment, and that's probably been even more significant and more lasting in relation to these issues. So, does your business currently have a HR or workplace relations issue?
Are you unsure how to work through compliance issues but still achieve a good business outcome?
Why not take advantage of On Demand HR's free 30-minute online consultation with an experienced HR consultant?
At the end of the consultation, we also provide you with a strategic action plan to resolve your current issues.
To see the types of matters we can help with and to schedule your consultation, please visit ondemandhr.com.au/advice.
We look forward to delivering certainty, confidence, and clarity for your business in your HR and workplace relations affairs.